Okay, so Chodesh Tov, everybody. We are in Parshat Pekudei, and we're talking about the holy words of the Meor Einayim and what he has to share about Parshat Pekudei. He has a short idea, and the thing is that we have to use our imagination with this Torah, because at 2 pages in, so it says chaser. The end of what he said is missing. So we don't know exactly what he said. We know the beginning of what he said. So we're going to have to just use our imagination a little bit and figure out how he's telling us the essence of Parshat Pekudei. And I also want to mention that today is beginning of Chodesh Adar, which is the beginning of the month of Purim. So of course we're going to try to connect to this with the holiday of Purim coming up, and Ramadan is also starting today, so Ramadan Karim to whoever that's relevant to. I'm not sure what that means, but I saw that somebody was writing on a missile, Ramadan Karim. So yeah. Is that Hashem? No. I saw it was written on a missile. So what it really means is that yes, that's right. Right? You write a missile? Yeah. Okay. So Mickey Mouse. Okay, next one you can do Ramadan Kareem. Now that you know what it means. So and the truth is that this is so relevant, because this whole war, they call it Al-Aqsa flood, and it's all about the Beis Hamikdash, and the truth is that there's a sub-narrative of the whole story of Purim that people don't realize is all about the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so that's what I want to start. That there's a very underlying theme about the entire narrative of the Purim story is all about the Beis Hamikdash. First of all, what we see clearly in the Megillah is that Mordechai and Esther, they are exiled from Churban Bayis Rishon, from the destruction of the first temple, and so they're displaced. They're displaced from the destruction of the first temple, and so they made it to Persia. Okay, so and then what's not so clear, what the Midrashim explain, is that first of all that the coordinator, the architect of the destruction of the Jewish people, namely Haman. So the beginning of his desire to destroy the Jewish people was actually a desire that they shouldn't have a Beis Hamikdash. Okay, and that part of the success of Mordechai and Esther was that after they saved the Jewish people, they were also successful in building the second Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so this is the whole story is really revolving around that. It says that the Gemara asks, why was it that the Jewish people were deserving to be destroyed? Why were they deserving to be destroyed? So the Gemara says that some of it that some of the people that actually were Avodah Zarah, but the Gemara says that the main reason, the first reason that the Gemara gives is Shenenu Misudas and Shalasei Rasha. At the beginning of the story, the beginning of Megillah Esther, the first thing that we learn about is that Achashverosh made this big party, 180 days, and everyone was coming. Now, what was special about this party? And moreover, what was the reason for this party? What was the reason for this party? So the Chazal tell us what was the reason for this party. That he was really on top. He was obsessed with the Jewish people, and he was on top of the fact that we were destined to be exiled. And he knew that we had a tradition, we had a prophecy, that we're going to be exiled for 70 years. The question was, from when to start the 70 years? Okay? Was it going to be from the beginning of the beginning of the destruction, from the middle of the destruction, from the actual destruction? And so it wasn't clear. According to his calculation, so the 70 years had come, and he understood that, well, if the prophecy didn't hold true, so Hashavade Sulamifrik. So now for sure they're not going to be redeemed anymore. So in his eyes, so he was celebrating the fact that now it's final, that there actually isn't going to be another Beis Hamikdash. The Beis Hamikdash is never going to be rebuilt, and that's why it says that we have when it talks about the party of Achashverosh. So there's one of the things is that v'kelim shanim, and there's a custom in all the Jewish communities that we do these words v'kelim shanim to the melody of Eicha. Okay. Why is it such a horrible thing, the kelim shalim? Because Chazal tell us that what's this kelim? That the kelim that he took, the vessels that he brought in this big party, were the vessels from the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so it says that he was coming out, it says that he wore the clothing of the Kohen Gadol, okay, which is actually the theme of this week's Parshat Pekudei, is about making the big day kahuna. And so Achashverosh was wearing the big day kahuna to celebrate the fact that Judaism, the Beis Hamikdash, is a thing of the past. Okay, this is going to be a museum piece of like once there was a Beis Hamikdash, once there was a big day kahuna, and he's celebrating the fact that this is a thing of the past. It's not going to be once again. So he was against the Beis Hamikdash. Chazal say that part of the reason why he was so against building the Beis Hamikdash was because of his wife Vashti. Okay, his wife Vashti. So she was from the family of Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar was the one who destroyed the temple. So she was constantly bothering her husband Achashverosh to make sure that he was against building the Beis Hamikdash, and the Chazal say that is actually why she was deserving to be killed. That the main reason why she deserving to be killed was because of this. Was because she was trying to hold back the building of the Beis Hamikdash. Okay? Now, the arch enemy of the Jews in the story of Purim was Haman. And so the pasuk says in Ezra in Perek Vav that there was somebody from Jerusalem that was writing a igeret sitna. Sitna, it means of a letter of hatred to Koresh, to the king of Persia at the time, telling them that the Jews are rebelling against you, and you need to stop. You need to not disallow them to build their temple. And so Koresh changed his mind. At the beginning, Koresh was a good guy, and then at some point, so he changed his mind. Why did he change his mind? Because of the bad, the lashon hara, because of this I don't know what the word is, that this bad mouthing that Haman did. So Chazal say that this igeret sitna that was written by Haman. Okay, so the whole stopping of the building of the second Beis Hamikdash was as a result of Haman, together with Achashverosh, and the whole story of the party was, with which is the first thing that the Megillah talks about, is this party, that the essence of the party was celebrating the fact that we're not going to have another Beis Hamikdash. So the fact that the fact that we were taking part in this celebration, that's what made us deserving to be destroyed. And it's all because of that the whole story of the Gezerah to really destroy us and the whole davening. Now, it says that when they were doing tshuva, part of our problem was, it wasn't just Achashverosh, it was also our problem. We deserved to be destroyed because of our participation in this party, and that's why that's the first point in the story of Megillah Esther, and that's why when we did tshuva, so Esther tells Mordechai, Lech knos kol Yehudim, that I want you to gather up the entire Jewish people for 3 days, not to eat, not to drink. And also me and my maidservants will also fast like this. And then on the third day, so Chazal say that this was Tet Zayid Nisan. Chazal said that this was that year there was no Pesach Seder, that they were fasting. They were fasting on the Seder night, and on the third day it was Tet Zayid Nisan. So it says that Mordechai had told everybody that, you know what, we need to start learning Torah, and he started telling everybody we need to learn the halachot of the Karbanot. Okay, and it says that Haman came into a shul on this day, and he saw that what they were doing, they were learning the halachot of kamitza, the halachot of to take a karban mincha when you have a flour offering. So there's a certain way of doing it with a kamitza. You take your fingers like this, whatever you take, and so Chazal say, why were they learning kamitza? Because that's what is today's. That was what was supposed to be today in the Beis Hamikdash, because it was Tet Zayin Nisan. And Tet Zayin Nisan, so there's Karban Omer, it's the first day of Sfiras Omer. So on the day of Sfiras Omer, the first day of Sfiras Omer, you bring a Karban Omer, which is a flour offering. So because you were doing Kmitza, so that's why they were learning the halachot of the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, and this is the way that they were doing tshuva, was that to atone for the fact that they lost hope for the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash. So that's why their tshuva was to get into it and to learn it and to say, this is real. We're excited about the fact that we're going to have a Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so I think it's extremely meaningful. I think it's extremely significant that first of all that this year, that Adar Sheni, the month of Purim, is starting today, and it's starting in the beginning, the same day as Ramadan. And it's like we're in the middle of this war about the Beis Hamikdash, about what's going to be the future of the Makom Hamikdash, and I think just like have to wait and see. But like there's something very very chilling about the fact that like this is a time of that the whole theme of Purim is all about are we really connected to the Beis Hamikdash, or do we not really care? And they want to have complete control, and we want the Beis Hamikdash. And like this has been a recurring problem in the Jewish people, that to not care about the Beis Hamikdash, to not care. That what are we? We're good. We have the Kota. We're good. We have yeshivas. We have seminaries. We learn Torah. We keep Shabbos. We keep kosher. Why do we need a Beis Hamikdash? And so an important part of our participation in this war, like for the people that aren't on the front lines, so I think an important part of our participation is to connect to the soul of this war, which is what is our connection with the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so this is this is really the theme of the parsha. This is really the theme of the parsha. Parshat Pekudei, which is like we said the last parsha that talks about the building of the Beis Hamikdash. And so the question is obviously with everything about the Beis Hamikdash, that how is this relevant to us? That we don't have a Beis Hamikdash right now. The Meor Einayim starts his Torah by saying that it says in Chazal that the entire Torah is expressions of Hashem's name. The entire Torah is Hashem's name. So just like Hashem's name is obviously eternal, so every verse, every word in the Torah is obviously eternal. So there must be something relevant. Just because the Torah is Hashem's name, so by definition it needs to be eternal. It needs to be, so if it's eternal, that means that it's always an appropriate question to ask, that what are we supposed to take from this? Okay, there is nothing that's just the. So now. So I want to at this point say a little bit of projection, because like I said, he doesn't really explain what he's trying to say, and so I can guess, like from my understanding of what his Torah is, I can really, but I take this like without any responsibility. Like this is just my personal interpretation, that the first parsha that the pasuk starts Eila Pekudei HaMishkan HaEdut, that Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe. Okay, that this is the accounting of the Mishkan of the covenant, Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe, that it was counted by the mouth of Moshe. Okay, so that's how he starts this Torah. It's clear that he's going on that pasuk. That what he's about to say is somehow a commentary on that pasuk, but it's not clear what he's trying to explain. So I can tell you that there's two things that he could have found interesting. First of all, the repetition of the word Mishkan. Ela Pekudei HaMishkan, Mishkan HaEdus. Okay, so Chazal have an interpretation that it's a reference to the fact that there's two Beit Mikdash. Okay, the Mikdash Rishon, Mikdash Sheni. That's why it says Mikdash twice. But it could be that he's coming to understand a deeper interpretation of what it means, the double language of the word Mishkan. And also, I'm quite sure that he's coming to explain that why does the Torah point out Asher Pukad al Pi Moshe, that why was it necessary that when they built the Mishkan, that it was counted by the mouth of Moshe? Okay, and this, it's like the Torah uses, like it seems unnecessary, the fact that there's something connecting with his mouth, with his speech, and that's what I think is coming to explain. Okay, so he goes like this. That he's mentioned this other times, that the first Rashi in Chumash says Bereshit bara Elokim et Hashemayim et haaretz. So what does it mean Bereshit? So it's bishvil HaTorah shenikra Reshit, that it's because for the purpose of the Torah, it's called a Reshit, because it says that Hashem Chanani Reshit Hakol, the Torah is called Reshis, and Bishvil Yisrael shenikra Reshis, and for the purpose of the Jewish people, that they're also called Reshis, because it says Kodesh Yisrael Hashem Reshit V'Ota. So both the Torah and the Jewish people are called Reshit. They're called the beginning, that first light. They both refer to both Torah and the Jewish people are referred to as this first light. And so when it says Bereshit, it means for the purpose of Yisrael and the Torah. Okay. So now, what does this mean? So he explains a very beautiful thing, that a king that has a son that is able to run the kingdom for him. So he has very much nachas from this. If he doesn't have to do it himself, if a king has a son that's able to run the kingdom for him, then that makes him very, very proud. That makes him very, he feels very secure. He feels like I did something right. Like not only did I make a kingdom, but I made it, and now I produced somebody who can take my place. And he has tremendous nachas from the fact that he has the son. So we, obviously the Jewish people, are called Hashem's children. The pasuk says in Re'eh that Banim Atam Hashem Lokechem, that we're called Hashem's children. So Hashem's purpose in creation was that to give us the ability to run His kingdom. He wants to give us the power. He wants to. It's very Hasidish. It's a very Hasidish idea. It's very a very recurring theme in the world of Hasidus is how much power we have. And it's like that. It's like one of the real ideological differences between the Hasidic mentality and the Hasidically challenged mentality is that in the non-Hasidic world, they're very into just non-existing, just yes negation, that yes Hashem, whatever, and in the Hasidic world, there's a lot of stories about the power of the tzaddik, that Hashem is that the tzaddik, that Hashem says that this person is not going to have kids, and the tzaddik says he's going to have kids, and the tzaddik says that Hashem says this person is going to be poor, and the tzaddik says that no, the person is going to have parnas, and the tzaddik has power, and that we understand that Hashem wants to give us power to be calling the shots, and that's really the beauty of coming close to Hashem, is that it's an empowering thing to come close to Hashem. It's not something that makes us, that suppresses us, that confines us. The coming close to Hashem is something that makes us infinitely powerful. Okay? It's a fascinating, a new take on Judaism. Judaism is not supposed to make you small; it's supposed to make you big. Okay, so Hashem wants us to be empowered with doing His purpose in creation, in bringing down all of the shefa, all of the blessings, all of the goodness into the world. It should be through us. And that, he says, is why He gave us the Torah. Because it's through the Torah that we're able to bring down the shefa. Okay? And since then, since He created the Jewish people, so our job is that through our mitzvahs that we should be able to bring down all the goodness into the world and be His partners in creation, be His partners in bringing down goodness and bracha and everything good into the world. So now he says that this is anybody here do Shvil Yisrael? No? Okay, Shvil Yisrael. It's a hike. So he says a new perush and Shvil Yisrael. It says that the Chazal say ein tova ba'al Yisrael ela b'shvil Yisrael. Okay, literally, like the simple understanding is that only the goodness only comes down to the world because of the Jewish people. But he says that it's actually deeper than that. It says b'shvil Yisrael. It's through the shvil. Shvil means the path. Through the, is there a better translation? Through the it's like the path. Through the pathway, trail, thank you. That through the trail of the Jewish people. Meaning that all the goodness that comes down into the world, it only comes down through the pathway, through the trail that the Jewish people create. That when every time we do mitzvahs, so we're creating this trail, and through this trail, so all the goodness and all the shefa, all the bracha, it all be to come down through our shvil Yisrael. Okay, that's the, you have to have that in mind when you're doing the shvil Yisrael. So, what? Bezat Hashem. So this is, and that's why that Hashem is more interested in us even than He is in the angels. It says, for example, that even the holy angels, that like they can't say the Shira, they can't sing Hashem's praises until they wait for us. They wait for us. It's like the only thing that we are actually creating all of the spiritual enterprises which are going on in every galaxy. So it's all through us. It's all through us. Like this is what we say, that it says that when we say kedusha, like when we say kedusha in Shul, when we say kadosh kadosh kadosh. So what are we saying? This is the psukim of kadosh kadosh kadosh. That's what it says. That's how the angels praise Hashem, right? But Chazal say that the angels don't say kadosh 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 until we say kadosh kadosh kadosh. So when we are in Shul, and
angels were created before people.
Mm-hmm. But once He put us, then it's dependent on us. Okay, so every time we're saying kadosh kadosh kadosh, so it's not just what we're saying. It's not just what we're saying, but we're allowing, but we're creating, we're orchestrating that the entire world, that the angels are also like suddenly all of the higher galaxies or the higher terrestrial worlds, so they all become full of kedusha somehow because of us. Like so, it's out that there's much more going on every time we're saying kedusha. Every time that we're praising Hashem, so there's much more going on than what we see. That we're simply like we're pressing buttons, and like suddenly all the higher worlds are also being full of kedusha because of us. Okay, so this is what it means that b'shvil Yisrael. It means that it's through the Jewish people, it's through our acts, through our kedusha, through our Torah, that every element of kedusha is coming down to the world. It's all through us. Okay, and so this is the essence of the Mishkan. Okay, the essence of the Mishkan is to fill the world with Hashem's Shechina, to fill the world with Hashem's presence. Right? This is the word Mishkan comes from the word Shechuna. Comes the word Lishkon. It means to dwell. Right? It means that I remember, like I think I told you that I once, like when I was 14 years old, I asked like the biggest rabbi in my shul, what does it mean? I asked him, like, what does it mean that there's a lot of Shechina in our shul, a lot of Shechina in the Beis Hamikdash? Like, isn't Hashem everywhere? And he said, that's a good question. I don't know. That's it. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not such a Torah scholar. I don't think it's such a complicated question. How do you not know? That's like, it's really ridiculous that he doesn't know. But the answer is that there's two elements of Hashem. That there's Hashem's essence. Hashem's essence is infinite, and Hashem's infinite essence is obviously everywhere. But besides Hashem's infinite essence, there's also Hashem's presence. Hashem's presence, and that's the Shechina. We're talking about the Shechina. We're talking about Hashem's being present, something that we can feel, something that we can sense, something that we connect with, which is not the same thing as His essence. It's His presence, and that's what it means, His dwelling. So that's the essence of the Mishkan, or the Beis Hamikdash, that it's all about Hashem wants to have a presence within us. Okay, so when we are doing these, when we're bringing Hashem's presence into the world, so we are fulfilling Hashem's original plan. We're fulfilling Hashem's original ratzon to have a Mishkan, that He wants to be v'shachanti b'tocham, that I want to dwell among you. And Chazal say that that when it says v'shachanti b'tocham, it means that he wants to be dwelling within us. It doesn't say v'shachanti b'tocha. It doesn't say that I want to be dwelling in the house, in this structure that you made, but he wants to be dwelling within us. Okay, that's the ultimate goal, and by doing so we are actually fulfilling Hashem's original plan in the creation. Okay, because it's through this connection, through our being in touch with Him, so we are allowing Him to run the world through us, and by that Hashem has the amazing nachas that, like the father that has the son that's ruling his nation, so when he leaves it up to us and he allows us to be the ones facilitating all of the kedusha that comes down to the world, so that is the greatest nachas that Hashem could have.
Why doesn't he use the same, what's the word, adverb? Like he says, tasuli, which means he's talking to us, and then he says, v'shachanti b'tocham. Why is he not say b'tochacha? Like why not?
Oh, b'tocham means among the people. Exactly. That means.
That's interesting that he started with singular and then it went to plural.
No, it's also plural. V'asu lemikdash.
I see.
V'asu. It's talking to the Jewish people. So it's good. Okay. So the purpose of creation is that we should be able to be calling the shots, and we should be able to be bringing all of the bracha and all the shafa into the world through our actions and through our holy things, and this is the essence of the Mishkan, and this is why the Mishkan is something which is eternal, something which is relevant, even before we have even when we still don't have an actual temple. So he continues that how do we do this? How do we get it that Hashem is going to pick us as a Mishkan? Okay, so he says that what we need to understand is that Hashem doesn't want to hang out where there is evil. Hashem doesn't like hanging out where there's badness, where there's ra. So if you want Hashem to hang out with you, so you have to get rid of your ra. Get rid of all your badness. Okay? So how do we do that? That's why it says that's why it says Sor me'ra v'aseh tov. It says stop doing bad, stay away from bad, and do good. Okay? So question is, why does it first stop doing bad and then do good? Like it's like whatever you can do, you can do. And like whenever like a person's going to come to me and say, Rabbi, I want to put on tefillin. So can I put on tefillin? And so I'm telling him, well, depends. Are you Shomer Negiah? Do you keep kosher? Are you like, no, I don't think so. Maybe first, like, you're so messed up. I think first you should wait, and then we'll talk about. No, of course not. Of course, you can do a mitzvah. Like, right? In fact, the opposite is true. In fact, like in terms of how to come close to Hashem, first you should start with aseh tov. First, you should start. Like the more mitzvahs you do, the more you're gonna want to get rid of your badness, right? So why does it say Sor me'ra v'aseh tov? So he explains that when it says Sor me'ra v'aseh tov, it's talking about the order of Hashvat HaShechina. That of course, in terms of how you come close to Hashem, how you're gonna fix the world. So first you have to do aseh tov. You never stop. Always do good. But if you want to know what's the order in terms of filling yourself to be a mishkan, to be a place, a home for Hashem Shechina, so then it has to start with Sor me'ra. Okay, because that until I cleanse myself from all of this trash, from all of this sewage, so then Hashem isn't going to be able to have me as a mishkan. Okay, so how do we get rid of all the badness? So the word is called tshuva. Why is it called tshuva? Tshuva means to return. Okay, why is it called returning? So he says because actually, when we're getting rid of all of our badness and we're trying to reconnect to being a mishkan, so we're actually returning to the way we always were. Okay, why? Because Chazal tell us that every fetus in the mother's womb, so there's an angel that's teaching them the entire Torah, and there's a candle which is lit on top of their head, and that they're able to see an infinite amount with this light. And this is referring to being a Mishkan. That before we entered this world, we were a Mishkan, that Hashem's presence was with us, and everything was just very clear to us, and everything was very perfect, and there was no evil back then, and we were just only connected to holiness. And that's why that anytime that we're getting rid of any mistakes, any going away from Hashem's will, so we're actually returning, we're actually getting back to this original state that we had, that like our first existence in the world was a perfectly spiritual state. Okay, so it should feel familiar. It should be like being holy can't be a new experience. It's like it should feel right. It should feel like something familiar. It should feel, yes, this is what I was always looking for. This feels like it was meant to be. It's not like sometimes you have experiences that they're cool, and sometimes you have experiences that they feel right. So being holy, as crazy as it might be, is supposed to feel right. It's supposed to feel like that. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was waiting for. Okay, so that is why. That's why that anytime when we talk about getting rid of the badness in our lives, so we call that tshuva, because we're returning to our original state. And our original state, that's really our goal. Now, and he's saying on the spiritual level, why is that our goal? Because at that point we were also a Mishkan. Okay. So now, the how do you do tshuva? So how do you do tshuva? So it says two parts of tshuva. So the first thing is that charata belev, that you have to have regret in your heart. And the second part of tshuva is vidoi bepeh, is you have to confess before Hashem with your words. You have to speak before Hashem that Hashem, I messed up. Hashem, I made a mistake. So what is this? So what are these? Why do you need these two parts? So every time that the person messes up, we mentioned this a little bit last week, every time the person goes away from Hashem, so he's the source of life sort of disconnects from us. We're detaching from our source. Every time that we mess up, every time we go against Hashem's will, so we're a little bit detaching ourselves, and when we're detaching ourselves, we're a little bit dead. We said last week, that's what it says, that Rishayim afilu b'chayim kriyam esim, that a person who's a Rasha, so he's called dead, because he doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have his life source. His life source is actually detached, and so when we're doing tshuva, we're actually reviving ourselves. We're actually coming back to life. Okay, so if part of what we're trying to do when we're doing tshuva is not just to undo the mistake. It's not just about the Hashem, I upset you. I feel bad that I upset you. It's much deeper than that. It's that for a moment I was a little bit dead, and I need to revive myself. I need to bring myself back to life. Okay, so how do I bring myself back to life? By making myself into a mishkan for Hashem's presence. Okay, so every time I'm doing tshuva, so I'm really bringing Hashem's presence back into my body. Okay, so how do I do that? So first of all, I need to make my heart a place for Hashem's presence, and that's with the charata, that's with the sor merah, that's with getting rid of the fact that I don't like that state of being disconnected, and then I need to use my mouth. Why do I need to use my mouth? Because it says that Hashem created the world with speech. Okay, that when Hashem vayipach bi'apav nishmas chayim, that Hashem breathed into the man, into Adam, the breath of life. It was through the speech that he put the life into his soul, put the soul into his body. So when a person wants to revive himself, so he needs to first of all fix himself in the heart. What's the heart? The purpose of the heart is to make myself that I could be a vessel for Hashem to come in. Because if I don't fix my heart, then it's just too grimy. It's just too full of sewage that Hashem doesn't want to come in. But even after I do, the charata, even after I feel bad. So why do I need the viday? I need the viday that to have this holy speech, before Hashem. So this is what brings down the speech, which is rekindling myself, which is bringing me back to life, like through this. Okay, Hashem's breathing back into me by using my breath in the viday, and that, if we want to come back to what the Meor Einayim was talking about, this the first pasuk in the Torah, this first pasuk in this parsha. So it says Ela Pekudei Hamishkan Mishkan Ha'edus. So there's two mishkans. There's Ela Pekudei Hamishkan Mishkan Ha'edus. Why does it say mishkan twice? So one is that there's a physical structure, and there's a second one which is really the predecessor for that, and that is that we should be the mishkan. And now, when we are a mishkan, when we, Jewish people, are a mishkan for Hashem, and then by doing that, we are building a physical mishkan, so then we are fulfilling Hashem's deepest ratzon in the creation, that we should be the ones bringing the bracha down into the world. Right? So that's the mishkan ha'edus. The two mishkans are that, first of all, it starts with us being a mishkan, and once we're a mishkan, then we're able to bring the mishkan. And that is why that in last week's parsha, Vayakal, so it says, Kol Asher Kol Nadiv Libo. It talks about that having a pure heart when you're giving to the mishkan. That in order to have a mishkan, in order to have the donations to the mishkan, you have to have a very pure heart. And this week's parsha, it says, Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe. It's about the mouth of Moshe. Okay, why do you need? What's the connection between the heart and the mouth? That first of all, you need to have a pure heart, because if you don't have a pure heart, then Hashem just doesn't want to be around you. But it's not enough to have that. You need to have the Pi Moshe. You need to have the speech, and it's through the speech that actually the Shekhinah comes down. Now, so this is a mind-boggling thing, like to understand the power of speech, to understand Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe. It seems like such an unnecessary thing, like such a very, very random thing that Moshe was counting all of the pieces of the donations, all of how much wood there is, and how much gold there is, and how much silver there is. He was counting it al pi Moshe, and he did it out loud. He did it. He made sure to count out loud. You know? So why is that so necessary? So the Meor Einayim is saying it needs to be out loud, because it's through the power of speech that we bring life into the world. We bring the source of life. We bring the Shekhinah into the world. Okay, so this really needs to wake us up as to the power of speech, the power of communication. First of all, like we said before, that Mordechai, that learning Torah, that Mordechai told the Jewish people that that your problem was you didn't care about building a Beis Hamikdash, so I want you to talk about the Beis Hamikdash. It should be in your discussions. We should be talking. The Beis Hamikdash should be talking about how to do karbanos, how to do sacrifices, and just having interactions about the Beis Hamikdash is bringing the Beis Hamikdash into our conversation. Okay, it's bringing it into the media. It's bringing us into our existence. Okay, now, the truth is that the world of communication is an even more powerful world than the world of action. Everything, things need to get done, right? But almost everything that gets done, the reason why it gets done is because there was a communication that preceded it, and it's the communication that actually caused it, and to the point that the people that do the stuff, so they would really do anything. But the people that are really they're puppets. The people doing stuff in the world are usually just puppets. The people that really are calling the shots are the people which are in charge of the communication, which are in charge of the conversations. Okay, you have the you have the people. For example, you want to have you want to stop theft. Okay, so the police have an important part in stopping theft. Okay, because the police, whenever there's a theft, so you call the police, and the police come and they try to catch the burglars, and if they don't, then they'll take they'll take clues and whatever. They'll try to run him down. Then they'll handcuff him and they'll put him in jail. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful that we, Baruch Hashem, we have soldiers, we have policemen, police people that are taking care of, that are doing this, getting rid of burglary, getting rid of theft. That's a beautiful thing. But the truth is that doesn't really do the job, right? First of all, that the way that it gets done is all through the communication, is all through the fact that there's a legal system, the fact that there's laws against theft, the fact that there's an ability to call the people and ultimately the only way that we're going to overcome theft is actually not through police people, but actually through education and through heightening the moral standards of the community. And that's really the real way to get rid of theft or immorality in any sense is really through education. It's really through the media. It's really through having conversations which are going to lift up the level of people. So really, the real way to get rid of something is not through action. It's really through communication. Okay, and we see that in everything in the world. So that the things that are actually calling the shots, the things which really making the world go around, is not actions. It's really communication. And we have to realize that we have communication. We have so much. We have ability. We're influencing, whether we like it or not. Everybody is an influencer. That was Rabbi Nachman's has a Torah in Torah Nun Vav. He says that this is the first thing that we have to know. The first thing we have to know about Purim is liot kol ish tzareh beveito. That everybody has to know that you have power, you have dominion over the people around you, that you are an influencer. Okay? You have to be aware of the fact, every single Jew has to be aware of the fact that they have influence and they make a difference to the people around them. And we have to treasure this influence that we have. We have to make sure that it's a holy influence. We have to make sure that our communications are going to be positive communications. We have to make sure that every single interaction is a positive interaction, that it's something which is bringing the world into a better place. And this is really, it's through our peh, it's through our pi Moshe. This is really the way that the way that the Beis Hamikdash really was brought was actually through the pi Moshe. It was actually through once we had this purity of the leiv, to bring it from the purity of the leiv into the peh, into the mouth of Moshe. So this is how this parsha of Pekudei, this grand finale of building the Mishkan. So it's absolutely relevant to us. It's actually absolutely relevant even before we have a physical Beis Hamikdash. And I think part of the message is that we need to start talking. We need to start talking about the Beis Hamikdash. It needs to be part of our lexicon, part of our conversations. And this is not something that we don't care about. We're actually excited. We're actually excited to have a real temple and the Temple Mount. And this is really to get ourselves psyched up about such a thing. And for the people that aren't so excited about that, so to ask and to have conversations about, why am I not excited? Why are other people more excited than me? Why is this an important thing? And to move the conversations to a place of that this is something that I care about. Like this is the greatest desire of Hashem in the entire world, is to have a physical Beis Hamikdash, and that's something that I should care about. That's something that this is, and Hamas knows. Hamas knows that it's something important. Hamas knows that our presence in Al-Aqsa is something that is of amazing, of infinite importance, and we don't get it. We don't get it. So part of the message of this parsha is like to make this part of our conversation, to make sure that we understand ourselves and we tell the people around us with our influence that the Beis Hamikdash is something that we care about, not just in our hearts, but actually in bringing a physical Beis Hamikdash, and that's ultimately what's going to bring the peace onto the entire world. That we have the Kibesi Beis Tefillah Yikari L'chol Ha'amim, that once we have a Beis Hamikdash, then it's going to allow all of the nations of the world to come close to Hashem in a deeper way. It's going to make peace in the world. It's going to really bring all the bracha. And Zat Hashem, we should see it very soon.